Welcome back. In this session, we're going to be looking at how to build and use custom photo templates. The first thing we need to do is build a template. I'm going to go up under Edit and choose Template. This will bring up the template creation window. Once the window is up, let's look over to the top right controls and we can see templates. This will be a list of all the templates you have created, as well as some sample ones that loaded with the software to get you started. We can click on these template names and see the template appear in the editor window. If I select a template and want to edit it, for example, I can move to my Frame tab, make any changes I want, then go back to the Template tab and save it. But if I want to get started creating a new template, I can just select New down at the bottom. My editor window is now clear and my template boundary is set automatically to the size of the page selected in image print. To set your own custom size, you'll want to enter your own width and height. I'm going to enter 14 for the width and 16 for the height, and we will give it a name. Let's call it Tutorial 1. There are some advanced features like putting a background behind the template, but for this tutorial, we're going to stick to the core features and you can experiment with all the other things on your own. Now back to my overall template size. If you haven't done the math in your head for all the frames you're going to be adding, don't worry. You can come back to here as needed and add more size or trim off the excess when you're all done adding frames. So let's jump over to the Frames tab and start adding in frames. In the drop-down list, we have most of all the standard photo sizes, but you can type in any custom size you want. I'm going to choose 8x10 and add frame. We can see that the frame shows up in the editor window and I can move it to anywhere I want inside the template. Let's add some more frames. Let's put in a 4x6 over here, and then let's see if we can fit a 6x4 right below it. Let's fill in the bottom with some 7x5 frames, and now we can see our template taking shape. When we look at the editor window, we can see that all of the frames are color-coded in a different color. This brings us to our frame groupings down here at the bottom. If I want a single image to fill out all of the frames on the template, I will select Same Image for all frames. We can see now that the frame color changed to red for every frame. However, if I want to do groups of frames, or even have every frame be a different image, I can control that as well. For this example, I'm going to make the 5x7s their own group by selecting the frame and then choosing Group 0 for each. This way, the 8x10s and the 4x6s will be filled out with one image and the 5x7s with a separate image. In the frame controls, there are some additional options like adding a background or border. And underneath that, there is the ability to change how the image will reside in the frame. By default, it is set to crop and zoom. In this mode, the image, regardless of aspect ratio, will completely fill the frame. You also have the option to fit to size, which will fit the image at its native aspect ratio without cropping or zooming. Below that is the option to set the rotation. There are uses for templates that aren't just for photo packaging, where these settings really come in handy. I'm happy with my overall template layout, but I can see that I have some space at the bottom I can trim off. So I'll go back to my Template tab and adjust the height to 15 inches to remove that unused space. Now I'll save the template and we can see that it was added to my template list. These template files are stored off of the image print folder in a folder called Templates. You can copy these files and move them to any other image print installation on Mac or Windows. They are completely portable. Let's close down the template editor and take a look at how we use templates in our layout. In the dashboard, you will need to expand layout settings. The first section is for layout mode. Let's select the drop-down on the left and choose template. Once in template mode, the drop-down on the right will show all the available templates that will fit on the current page size. If a template is too large for the current page size, it will be displayed in red and you will not be able to select it. Let's choose Tutorial 1 and the template will appear on the layout window. If I take an image and hover above the template will highlight, and if there are multiple groupings, you can highlight the group you want and then drop the image and the frames in that group will be filled out. I'll take another image and drop it on the bottom group, and after it fills out, you can see that a new empty template will be drawn in the next available position on the screen. Because the image is being cropped and zoomed to fill the frame, there may be times we want to adjust the crop. If you double-click on the frame you want to adjust, the Smart Crop window will come up, and you can adjust the position of the crop and/or change the zoom as well. If you have multiple frames of the same size in the grouping, each one will change automatically. Because all of the automation is still present even with templates, I can take multiple images at a time and drop them onto the template, and both groups will be filled out. If I had a single image per template and didn't need to worry about putting the correct image into every group, I could take a folder of images and it would build pages of template layouts until every image is inside a template. Now before we close out of this, let's look at one more feature. A lot of photographers use photo packages in event photography. The printers they bring on site are usually small format dye sub or dry lab roll printers, where the width is usually 8 inches to 10 inches max, and you can only fit 1 or maybe 2 frames on a page. But if you need to include, let's say, an 8x10, some 5x7s, and some wallets in a single order of the same image, the way to do that is with what we call linked templates. We need to jump back into our template editor. To save time, I'm going to show you this with templates I've already created. There is nothing different in how you create the templates. I'm going to go to my Links tab, and again, from the list of templates above, I'm going to find the ones I want to link. I have 2 templates here that are 7-inch templates. Now they don't have to be the same size, but in this particular application they usually are. To link the templates, you simply drag the first on down into the middle pane and then get the next one and do the same thing. The reason for linking templates is that it's a huge time saver in a production environment because each page now will be automatically filled out with the same image and the user doesn't need to manually load a different template per page and then populate it over and over again. We'll give this one a name. Let's call it Tutorial Linked and save it. Now exit the editor. Again, back in my layout settings window, I'll choose linked templates from the bottom. Now in my list, it will show all of my linked templates. I'll choose the one we just created. The linked templates will show up on the layout window, and I will drop these last 2 images we used into it, and you can see that it fills out 2 copies of the linked templates. Now because I'm showing you this on a large format printer, these all fit on my page. But if I was on one of the smaller dry lab printers, for example, each of the links would show up on a different page. So that's all there is to understanding templates. Thanks for watching another image print tutorial.